Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A job in an organization. An act that brings discredit to the person who does it. A small contrasting part of something. A bald spot. A lamp that produces a strong beam of light to illuminate a restricted area, used to focus attention of a stage performer. A point located with respect to surface features of some region. A bright spot on a planet. A mark on a die or on a playing card, shape depending on the suit. An outstanding characteristic. A small piece or quantity of something. A spot of tea. A slight attack of illness. Detect with the senses. A blemish made by dirt. Make a spot or mark onto. The wine spotted the tablecloth. Catch sight of. Mar or impair with a flaw. A business establishment for entertainment. Night spot. A playing card with a specified number of pips on it to indicate its value. An 8 spot. A section of an entertainment that is assigned to a specific performer or performance. They changed his spot on the program. A short section or illustration, as between radio or TV programs or in a magazine, that is often used for advertising. Become spotted. This dress spots quickly. Mark with a spot or spots so as to allow easy recognition. Spot the areas that one should clearly identify. A job in an organization. Secure in or as if in a berth or dock. A bed on a ship or train, usually in tiers. Come into or dock at a wharf. A place where a craft can be made fast. Provide with a berth. A job in an organization. A short personal letter. Provide housing for military personnel. Lodging for military personnel, especially in a private home. A job in an organization. The actions and activities assigned to or required or expected of a person or group. Professional or clerical workers in an office. The whole office was late the morning of the blizzard. Of a government or government official, holding an office means being in power. Being in office already gives a candidate a great advantage. Place of business where professional or clerical duties are performed. He rented an office in the new building. An administrative unit of government. A religious rite or service prescribed by ecclesiastical authorities. The offices of the Mass. A job in an organization. Assign a location to. A point located with respect to surface features of some region. This is a nice place for a picnic. Assign a rank or rating to. The particular portion of space occupied by something. He put the lamp back in its place. A particular situation. If you were in my place, what would you do? Assigned to a station. A space reserved for sitting, as in a theater or on a train or airplane. He sat in someone else's place. Recognize as being. Establish the identity of someone or something. Where you live at a particular time. Your place or mine. Identify the location or place of. Locate. Take a place in a competition, often followed by an ordinal. Put into a certain place or abstract location. A public square with room for pedestrians. Make an investment. Proper or designated social situation. He overstepped his place. A blank area. Any area set aside for a particular purpose. Who owns this place? Estimate. An item on a list or in a sequence. In the second place. Intend, something, to move towards a certain goal. The post or function properly or customarily occupied or served by another. Took his place. A general vicinity. He comes from a place near Chicago. An abstract mental location. He has a special place in my thoughts. Assigned to, a job or a home. Finish second or better in a horse or dog race. He bet $2 on number 6 to place. Place somebody in a particular situation or location. He was placed on probation. Proper or appropriate position or location. A woman's place is no longer in the kitchen. Sing a note with the correct pitch. The passage that is being read. He lost his place on the page. To arrange for. Place a phone call. A condition or position in which you find yourself. The unpleasant situation, or position, of having to choose between two evils. A job in an organization. The spatial property of a place where or way in which something is situated. The position of the hands on the clock. The particular portion of space occupied by something. A rationalized mental attitude. An opinion that is held in opposition to another in an argument or dispute. A way of regarding situations or topics, etc. The arrangement of the body and its limbs. The relative position or standing of things or especially persons in a society. Atheists do not enjoy a favorable position in American life. A point occupied by troops for tactical reasons. Put into a certain place or abstract location. The act of putting something in a certain place. An item on a list or in a sequence. Moved from third to fifth position. The post or function properly or customarily occupied or served by another. Cause to be in an appropriate place, state, or relation. In team sports, the role assigned to an individual player. What position does he play? The act of positing, an assumption taken as a postulate or axiom. The appropriate or customary location. The cars were in position. A job in an organization. He occupied a post in the Treasury. Mark with a stake. Transfer, entries, from one account book to another. United States manufacturer of breakfast cereals and postum, 1854 to 1914. United States female author who wrote a book in a syndicated newspaper column on etiquette, 1872 to 1960. Military installation at which a body of troops is stationed. This military post provides an important source of income for the town nearby. Cause to be directed or transmitted to another place. Assigned to a station. A pole or stake set up to mark something, as the start or end of a racetrack. A pair of posts marked the goal. The system whereby messages are transmitted via the post office. In England they call mail the post. Place so as to be noticed. Post a sign. Mark or expose as infamous. Any particular collection of letters or packages that is delivered. Is there any post for me? The position where someone, as a guard or sentry, stands or is assigned to stand. A soldier manned the entrance post. United States aviator who in 1933 made the first solo flight around the world, 1899 to 1935. Affix in a public place or for public notice. Post a warning. An upright consisting of a piece of timber or metal fixed firmly in an upright position. He set a row of posts in the ground and strung barbed wire between them. Assigned to a post. Put into a post. The newspaper posted him in Timbuktu. Display, as of records in sports games. Enter on a public list. Publicize with, or as if with, a poster. I'll post the news on the bulletin board. Ride Western style and bob up and down in the saddle in rhythm with a horse's trotting gait. The delivery and collection of letters and packages. It came by the first post. A condition or position in which you find yourself. The unpleasant situation, or position, of having to choose between two evils. A job in an organization. Physical position in relation to the surroundings. The general state of things, the combination of circumstances at a given time. The present international situation is dangerous. A complex or critical or unusual difficulty. The dangerous situation developed suddenly. An act that brings discredit to the person who does it. He made a huge blot on his copybook. A blemish made by dirt. Make a spot or mark onto. Dry, ink, with blotting paper. An act that brings discredit to the person who does it. Charge falsely or with malicious intent. Attack the good name and reputation of someone. Make a smudge on. Soil by smudging. A thin tissue or blood sample spread on a glass slide and stained for cytologic examination and diagnosis under a microscope. A blemish made by dirt. Slanderous defamation. Cover. A surface, by smearing, a substance, over it. Smear the wall with paint. Stain by smearing or daubing with a dirty substance. An act that brings discredit to the person who does it. Charge falsely or with malicious intent. Attack the good name and reputation of someone. Smear so as to make dirty or stained. A blemish made by dirt. An act that brings discredit to the person who does it. A soiled or discolored appearance. The wine left a dark stain. A symbol of disgrace or infamy. Make dirty or spotty, as by exposure to air, also used metaphorically. The state of being covered with unclean things. Color for microscopic study. Color with a liquid dye or tint. People knew how to stain glass a beautiful blue in the Middle Ages. Microscopy. A dye or other coloring material that is used in microscopy to make structures visible. Produce or leave stains. Red wine stains the tablecloth. A small contrasting part of something. Color with streaks or blotches of different shades. A small contrasting part of something. A fleck of red. Make a spot or mark onto. A small fragment of something broken off from the whole. A small contrasting part of something. The act of spotting or staining something. A small contrasting part of something. A patch of clouds. A connection intended to be used for a limited time. Repair by adding pieces. A protective cloth covering for an injured eye. Sewing that repairs a worn or torn hole, especially in a garment. A piece of soft material that covers and protects an injured part of the body. A period of indeterminate length, usually short, marked by some action or condition. A patch of bad weather. A small area of ground covered by specific vegetation. A cabbage patch. Mend by putting a patch on. Patch a hole. To join or unite the pieces of. Patch the skirt. A piece of cloth used as decoration or to mend or cover a hole. A short set of commands to correct a bug in a computer program. Provide with a patch, also used metaphorically. The field was patched with snow. A small contrasting part of something. Produce a mottled effect. Mark with small spots. Speckle the wall with tiny yellow spots. A lamp that produces a strong beam of light to illuminate a restricted area, used to focus attention of a stage performer. A focus of public attention. Move into the foreground to make more visible or prominent. Illuminate with a spotlight, as in the theater. A point located with respect to surface features of some region. A mark on a die or on a playing card, shape depending on the suit. Hit with a missile from a weapon. A radar echo displayed so as to show the position of a reflecting surface. Kill by firing a missile. Defeat thoroughly. A disease of poultry. A minor nonspecific ailment. A small hard seed found in some fruits. Be oriented. The weather vane points north. Sail close to the wind. Repair the joints of bricks. Point a chimney. Any of 32 horizontal directions indicated on the card of a compass. He checked the point on his compass. Be a signal for or a symptom of. Her behavior points to a severe neurosis. A specific identifiable position in a continuum or series or especially in a process. A distinct part that can be specified separately in a group of things that could be enumerated on a list. The main point on the agenda was taken up first. An outstanding characteristic. His acting was one of the high points of the movie. A V shape. The cannibal's teeth were filed to sharp points. A contact in the distributor. As the rotor turns, its projecting arm contacts them and current flows to the spark plugs. The dot at the left of a decimal fraction. Direct into a position for use. Point a gun. Indicate a place, direction, person, or thing, either spatially or figuratively. He pointed to the empty parking space. The property of a shape that tapers to a sharp tip. The gun muzzle's direction. He held me up at the point of a gun. A V-shaped mark at one end of an arrow pointer. The point of the arrow was due north. An isolated fact that is considered separately from the whole. A point of information. A wall socket. An instant of time. At that point I had to leave. A very small circular shape. A row of points. Direct the course. Determine the direction of traveling. Give a point to. Intend something, to move towards a certain goal. A punctuation mark, placed at the end of a declarative sentence to indicate a full stop or after abbreviations. A brief version of the essential meaning of something. Get to the point. A distinguishing or individuating characteristic. He knows my bad points as well as my good points. A geometric element that has position but no extension. A point is defined by its coordinates. A linear unit used to measure the size of type, approximately 1/72 inch. A promontory extending out into a large body of water. They sailed south around the point. A style in speech or writing that arrests attention and has a penetrating or convincing quality or effect. Be positionable in a specified manner. The gun points with ease. Indicate the presence of game by standing and pointing with the muzzle. The dog pointed the dead duck. Mark, a psalm text, to indicate the points at which the music changes. Mark, Hebrew words, with diacritics. Mark with diacritics. Point the letter. 1% of the total principal of a loan. It is paid at the time the loan is made and is independent of the interest on the loan. Sharp end. He stuck the point of the knife into a tree. The object of an activity. What is the point of discussing it? The precise location of something, a spatially limited location. She walked to a point where she could survey the whole street. The unit of counting in scoring a game or contest. He scored 20 points in the first half. An indefinitely short time. In just a bit. A small fragment. A small amount of solid food, a mouthful. All they had left was a bit of bread. A small piece or quantity of something. A bit of paper. A short performance that is part of a longer program. A small fragment of something broken off from the whole. A bit of rock caught him in the eye. An instance of some kind. He had a bit of good luck. A unit of measurement of information, from binary plus digit. The amount of information in a system having two equiprobable states. There are 8 bits in a byte. Piece of metal held in horse's mouth by reins and used to control the horse while riding. The horse was not accustomed to a bit. The cutting part of a drill, usually pointed and threaded and is replaceable in a brace or bitstock or drill press. He looked around for the right size bit. The part of a key that enters a lock and lifts the tumblers. A distinguishing style. This room needs a woman's touch. Make a more or less disguised reference to. Consume. She didn't touch her food all night. The event of something coming in contact with the body. He longed for the touch of her hand. Be relevant to. A suggestion of some quality. There was a touch of sarcasm in his tone. Have an effect upon. The act of putting two things together with no space between them. At his touch the room filled with lights. Be equal to in quality or ability. Your performance doesn't even touch that of your colleagues. A communicative interaction. He got in touch with his colleagues. A slight attack of illness. He has a touch of rheumatism. Affect emotionally. I was touched by your kind letter of sympathy. The faculty by which external objects or forces are perceived through contact with the body, especially the hands. Only sight and touch enable us to locate objects in the space around us. Tamper with. Don't touch my CDs. To extend as far as. The chair must not touch the wall. A slight but appreciable amount. This dish could use a touch of garlic. Be in direct physical contact with. Make contact. The two buildings touch. The sensation produced by pressure receptors in the skin. She likes the touch of silk on her skin. Color lightly. Cause to be in brief contact with. He touched his toes to the horse's flanks. Comprehend. He could not touch the meaning of the poem. Deal with. Usually used with a form of negation. I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. Deftness in handling matters. He has a master's touch. Make physical contact with. Come in contact with. She never touched her husband. Perceive via the tactile sense. Helen Keller felt the physical world by touching people and objects around her. The act of soliciting money, as a gift or loan. He watched the beggar trying to make a touch. The feel of mechanical action. This piano has a wonderful touch. Detect with the senses. Identify as in botany or biology, for example. Detect with the senses. Mark as different. We distinguish several kinds of maple. Be a distinctive feature, attribute, or trait, sometimes in a very positive sense. His modesty distinguishes him from his peers. Make conspicuous or noteworthy. Kiss, embrace, or fondle with sexual passion. Write all the required information onto a form. Make out a form. Detect with the senses. I can't make out the faces in this photograph. Succeed in doing, achieving, or producing something with the limited or inadequate means available. Have sexual intercourse with. Proceed or get along. Make out an issue. Comprehend. I cannot make out what this politician is saying. Imply or suggest. Try to establish. Detect with the senses. Pick out, select, or choose from a number of alternatives. Express greetings upon meeting someone. Accept someone to be what is claimed or accept his power and authority. Detect with the senses. Show approval or appreciation of. Be fully aware or cognizant of. Grant credentials to. Express obligation, thanks, or gratitude for. Perceive to be the same. Express greetings upon meeting someone. Accept someone to be what is claimed or accept his power and authority. We do not recognize your gods. Detect with the senses. Show approval or appreciation of. My work is not recognized by anybody. Be fully aware or cognizant of. Grant credentials to. The regents officially recognized the new educational institution. Express obligation, thanks, or gratitude for. Perceive to be the same. Exhibit recognition for, an antigen or a substrate. Detect with the senses. Mark as different. A blemish made by dirt. Coat with plaster. Daub the wall. Cover a surface by smearing a substance over it. Daub the ceiling with plaster. An unskillful painting. Apply to a surface. Daub paint onto the wall. Material used to daub walls.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.